his wife won't let him get an exposed tattoo. You're listening to Game Points with Matthew Ross on TSN 690.
Game Points with Matthew Ross, final segment of the show. Up next, Giants, Dodgers, pregame show, ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball coming your way. And how to get you in the mood for Sunday Night Baseball? How about bringing on a legend?
It's time once again for Game Points to bring in the expert. Rotowire.com senior editor Jeff Erickson here to teach you more than what you learn at that fancy school of yours. So take the crayons out of your ears, shut up, and listen good. Here is Jeff Erickson.
And you can follow him as well on Twitter.com/Jeff_Erickson. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Doing well, Matthew. Yourself?
I am very well, thanks. Enjoying the great weather up here today, and also the start to the MLB season. It's been frenetic and fun, and so many different crazy storylines. I'm sure you've had a few fantasy-wise as well. Let us start actually with the storyline we were just talking about in our previous segment. Tell us about the LA Dodgers pitcher who has started his career with 12 consecutive shutout innings pitched, matching the 12 innings in 1992 of Pedro Astacio.
Talking about Kenta Maeda, and he's the top import starting pitcher coming over from Japan this year. I'd like to see him work deeper into games, but I think that'll come over time a little bit there. There was some concern about his arm, which is why he went relatively cheaply for the Dodgers. He took a big, he got a shorter guaranteed contract and more an incentive-based contract. They had to rework it after they did a little bit of an arm exam. Now, the track record of guys coming over from Japan pitcher-wise is usually good the first year or two, and then there's durability concerns. So I'm pretty bullish on him for this year. Looking forward to watching him start tonight.
Yeah, speaking of Japanese pitchers, how about Tanaka? Tanaka getting a win today for the New York Yankees, 4-3 win over Seattle. Jeff, what can he do this year? Do you have a high ceiling before like we all had before the injury?
Yeah, it's all, again, its durability is the big concern. I think performance is pretty strong, that he's been able to keep good ratios in the AL East the last couple of years. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, too, is that he matched up against Hisashi Iwakuma today, so it was a big matchup going back to Japan. Big day for Japanese pitchers altogether, I guess.
We had the Blue Jays game here on TSN 690 today. Aaron Sanchez, a tremendous start today in Boston. Boston gets a couple of runs in the ninth after Sanchez was out to make it 5-3. What were your projections ahead of the season for Sanchez, and have you adjusted them in any way? I was
kind of skeptical about him because I thought the control wouldn't carry over to him being a starter. I wish I would have revisited that opinion sooner. I always bet on talent, especially bet on the unknown. He's always had great, stuff. It's an ability to harness it that was in question. He had a great spring, and he's carried that over so far. 2 great starts in a row now, and I wish I had more shares of him. I don't have him on any of my teams. It's one of my biggest draft regrets, is in so much that you can have draft regrets 2 weeks into the season.
Jeff, Orioles are 8-3 off to a great start in the AL East. Do you put this on their hitting, how well they've done, or their pitching so far this season?
A little bit of both. Remember, their pitching faced the Twins at least in part of their in part of their travels, and the Twins have had all sorts of trouble scoring runs.
3-9 to start the year for the Twins.
Yeah, although it was 0-9 at one point. Let's remember they just swept the Angels, which is kind of funny. But I think that the Orioles are probably going to crash back to earth. I don't think their starting pitching start is sustainable. I think that you look at them, they're going to start giving up a few more runs. So I'm a little bit worried about that, a little bit apprehensive about that.
All right, speaking of apprehensive, Mocon's Miami Marlins, now 3-7. They lost in 10 innings today to the 3-9 Atlanta Braves, so nothing tremendous there. What happened? Where did you have Fernandez from in the starting rotation of the Marlins coming into the season in terms of projections, and have you adjusted anything there?
a bad series they had against Atlanta this weekend, and I don't think they're great. But I think they're going to do better offensively than they've shown so far. I'm encouraged by Adam Conley and his start. He had his first start was pretty rough, but it was one inning, and then they had a long rain delay. He didn't come back after that. Pitched very well against the Mets in his last start. I think you're going to see 2 good starts out of him this weekend. Might be available in some mixed leagues, so I think about picking him up. Overall, I think they're going to turn around and be. I think they're going to be a competitive team. But it's going to be tough to make up the stagger against the Nats, who are already off to a great start, although they blew one today. I think all in all, the Marlins, they're aiming for a wild card position.
All right, we have a text coming in, kind of without the variables that you need to answer it properly, Jeff, but I'll throw it out to you anyway. Would you consider trading away Brett Gardner for A-Rod?
No, it'd be tough. I mean, the only reason I would is if I really need the power. But Gardner is running. He's healthy. He's hitting the ball with a decent amount of authority. If I were drafting today, I'd draft Gardner ahead of A-Rod. The exception might be is if you can still somehow get A-Rod to qualify at third base. But in almost every league that I play in, he's DH only. I think not.
All right, over on the Red Sox side of things, Travis Shaw gets his first home run of the season today in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Blue Jays. This is a guy that has some power potential, doesn't he?
He does have some. I think it's like 15 homer potential. Probably his ceiling is kind of capped. He outright won the job over about Kung Fu Panda, but and now Panda's on the DL. Perhaps from what it looks like to be a pretty long time. So we'll see. He's going to be in a pretty good spot in a good order. Good lineup, so he's got that going for him. So his counting stats could be decent. I think there's a cap to his upside, but I think he's a perfectly serviceable player.
Jeff, Mike Moustakas hit his 4th home run of the season today in Kansas City's 3-2 loss in Oakland. He's a guy that obviously has some power, but do you expect just a big season out of him based on his early start or no?
I expect a decent season. Last year was a season of real gains. He really improved. His batting eye, his patience at the plate. He went opposite field a little bit more often, and I think that helped him see the ball better. I think he's going to be someone that's capable of taking the next step up on home runs this year. Obviously, 4 homers already to start is a pretty good start. I'm encouraged by that. And remember, this is a guy that's a pedigreed prospect. He was expected to do a lot when he came up. It just took him a long time to gel, similar to his teammate Alex Gordon.
Jeff, from Cy Young candidate to starting a season 0-3 with a 6.16 ERA, that's where Corey Kluber finds himself today after the Mets beat Cleveland 6-0. What are your thoughts on Kluber right now?
Very unlucky. He was he had 2 balls dropped in the outfield, or not dropped, but not caught because it was lost in the sun. 2 triples in a row, if you will, like quote-unquote, air quotes, triples. So keep that in mind when you're looking at today's outing. I'm not that concerned. Remember, he started off slowly last year and came on strong later on. Power pitchers often struggle in April. Same thing with Matt Harvey the day before. Remember, he had a good start to that outing even. But, a lot of times these guys, they have a harder time commanding that power stuff. They're off just a fraction. It takes a while. So I wouldn't be that concerned about him. In fact, I try to trade for him right now.
All right, and let's end on a guy that people are starting to take notice of in Philadelphia and elsewhere, obviously, Vince Velasquez. Did you see this kind of performance coming? I
don't think anybody saw 16 strikeouts, but I like his ability. The thing I'm worried about with him, again, is durability. He's never thrown more than, I think, 123 innings, if I've got the number right, in any given season. They say he's going to be on an innings cap this year, so there'll be times when he's going to miss some starts. There'll be other times maybe he's a possibility for a September shutdown. That's okay if you're in a thinner league, in a mixed league. You can always find talent on the waiver wire and try to replace it, and you want to max out anyhow. But keep in mind also he's on Philly, and they're not going to score a ton of runs for him on a regular basis. So you're often going to be in a situation where he throws a good outing and doesn't get the win. Reds, Phillies, Braves, anybody that shows a bit of promise among their starting pitchers there, you're going to run into that similar problem.
He is Jeff Erickson, Jeff_Erickson, if you want to ask him any questions yourself on Twitter, and rotowire.com is the site as always. Jeff, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Matthew. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you very much. Giants, Dodgers, coming your way. Pre-game show, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball in a few short minutes here on TSN 690. We're just wrapping up Game Points with Matthew Ross. Our thanks to all of our guests today, including Dwight Walton, Joe Yurden, S.J. Green, and Jeff Erickson. Our thanks to Mo Khan here in studio, David Trentadue for helping us out, and Jimmy G on the board. Don't forget, GamePointsRadio.com is our blog if you want to check out some of the audio from this show today, including our chat with S.J. Green. Our thanks as well to RoyalCeramic.com if you're looking at tiles, wood floors, cabinets, countertops, and even the shower plumbing accessories, all of that. Check out RoyalCeramic.com. They're in St. Leonard on Pascal Gagnon. That's going to do it for us. Enjoy your evening, Montreal. It's good barbecue weather on Montreal Sports Authority, TSN 690.